This is Jim Bish with the Americans in Wartime Museum. Today's date is March 28, 2019, and I'm conducting an interview with Jim Garvin in Sun City, Arizona. Jim, could you please give me your full name and where you were born?
James F. Garvin.
And where were you born?
New York City.
New York City. Okay.
New York, yeah.
Did you live in New York all the time while growing up?
No, I grew up in Philadelphia.
You grew up in Philadelphia. When did you move to Philadelphia? When you were little?
Yes, I was a baby.
Okay. And did you graduate from high school in Philadelphia?
Yes.
What year was it that you graduated from high school? 44. And so you were probably about a freshman when Pearl Harbor was attacked.
Jeez, I don't remember.
Do you remember when Pearl Harbor?
I remember.
What impact did that have on you and your family or your school? Do you remember?
No, there was no impact. I was too young. In fact, I was sorry that I was young and I couldn't get into the
Really?
war. Yeah.
You were ready?
Well, I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you graduated from high school in 1944, the war was still going on. How did you find your way from the time you graduated?
College.
Okay.
I went to LaSalle University.
Okay.
1 year, and then I was drafted.
So you were drafted in 1945 or late 44?
I think it was 44.
Mm-hmm. And then you were sent probably to basic somewhere.
Basic training was in Camp Landing, Florida.
Okay. And then where did they send you after you left basic training?
After basic training, they sent me to the war.
They sent you to the war right
Germany.
away?
Yeah. Yeah, after basic training.
Do you remember the ship you went over on?
No, I think it was the George Washington, but I couldn't swear to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming, did you land in France, or where did you land?
France, yeah, Le Havre.
And from there, where did you, what unit were you assigned to?
80th Infantry Division.
Okay.
317th Regiment. God, I remember those numbers.
Yeah. What was your job? What were you doing? What was your
I was a rifleman.
You were a rifleman.
Yeah.
Where was the front at? Where was your the 80th Infantry when you joined them?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Was it in France or in Germany?
I think it was in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And then the war ended right away. I missed the war.
You were right at the tail end of the war.
Yeah, I was. When the Germans heard I was coming, they quit. They gave up.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
So did you see much contact with the Germans in the short period that you were there?
The only contact I had was guarding prisoners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that before the war was over or after the war ended?
Before the war was over.
You were guarding prisoners.
Yeah.
Do you know where that was located? Where you were guarding them at?
I would say Germany.
Yeah. When the war ended, what was it like when you first heard that the war was over? You were probably in Germany. What was your reaction? What was your company's reaction?
We were delighted and overjoyed. You know, it was a time for celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you celebrated.
Oh, yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. After the war was over, then what were you end up doing? You were probably still going to be there for a while.
We were being trained to get into the Japanese war, but then it ended, so I never got there.
So they were training you over in Germany to get ready to go to Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you never got sent over to Asia.
No. The war ended. This is the reason I didn't.
But you remained in Germany then for a while?
Yeah, occupation.
Yeah. What were you doing in occupation? Do you remember?
No, just doing soldiers' work, marching and carrying a rifle and stuff. Nothing of any import.
Do you know where you were in Germany when you were doing that?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
Yeah. So, when you were in Germany for a while, then with the occupation army after the war, did you come back to England, or did you come back to the States directly? Do you remember?
When I came back to the States. Yeah.
Do you remember where you came back to?
Oh, no, I don't remember. It could have been Fort Dix. It was probably Fort Dix.
Okay.
Because I'm an Easterner.
Were you discharged right away, or did you spend some more time in the Army?
No, it was discharged relatively soon. I was there a few months and then discharged.
And while you were trained as a rifleman, that you joined but you really were more of an occupational force at the end of the war.
Yeah.
And
I was not in a trench shooting bullets.
And you were doing a lot of odd jobs, which the Army had you do as part of the occupational forces.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that there were other men in your company and your regiment that was brought back ahead of you. They probably cycled you back.
No, sure, yeah.
And
it went by points. You had to have 85, if I remember, you had to have 85 points that you get earned for the months of service and months in combat and stuff like that. And I didn't have that, so I didn't get to go back right away.
Yeah. Other men that were in the 80th Infantry that had been there earlier, they had their points built up.
They left.
And they got out of there earlier.
We said goodbye to them,
Yeah. So when you returned, and were you still over in Germany when the Japanese war ended then? You were over in Germany?
Yes, it ended. Yeah, I was still in Germany, as best I can remember.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the higher ranking officers coming through your occupational base while you were there?
Yes, Patton.
Patton came through?
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. Spoke to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you see Patton at?
We were doing some kind of exercise, and he came up and I forget what he said. He said something like, "What would you do if there was a machine gun nest facing you?" And I said, "We'd call the artillery, blow them out." That's what I told him.
What was his reaction?
And he accepted it. Yeah.
Well, that's good. And he passed away shortly thereafter. It
Yes,
sounds
he
like
did.
It wasn't. Were you in Germany when he was?
I think I was. I think I remember that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I was still in the service.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting story.
He was a great general.
Yeah. That he was. So
with a mixed reputation.
He was pretty hard on people.
Yeah.
But he also got things done.
He also made victories.
Yeah. Who was your commanding officers? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So when you returned, you were in Fort Dix.
To the U.S.?
Yeah. When you returned, you were in Fort Dix for a while.
No, it was when I returned. It was
short time.
Fort Dix for a week, and I was gone. I was discharged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything in your military service that stands out while you were over in Germany, other than the war's ending? That was certainly a big event.
Well,
and seeing
what
Patton.
I did for a while in Germany was interesting. I was put into a unit called Graves Registration, and I would set off every week with a jeep, a driver, and me, and an interpreter, a guy who could speak the language, to a certain section, asking if there were any Americans buried there. Just do it for the week. We'd hit every town, talk to the mayor or the police or whatever, looking for graves of Americans.
And when you would find one, you would register all the information you could get.
All the information you could get, yeah.
Were any or many of those graves then moved to American cemeteries in Europe then, or do you know?
That was the purpose.
That was the purpose?
I wasn't there when
you were
it was done,
documenting for that to take place.
I was determining the place so that some other group
Would
could dig
transfer.
it up and take them away. Yeah.
Did you find a lot of Americans buried in many
No,
towns?
but I had, I guess 5 or 6 I hit.
How long were you doing this while you were after the war?
I can only guess 6 months or a year.
That's a very interesting job.
It
I've
was
never heard
interesting.
anybody
I
else
took
doing
off every Monday morning. As I said, I had a Jeep and an interpreter, and off we'd go to a section on the map that was set for us and hit every town in that section. Go to the chief of police or the mayor, somebody in command of the place,
Yeah.
to ask if there haben Sie keine amerikanische Soldaten beerdigt here. I remember that. That's what we would ask. Do you have any American soldiers buried here? And we found, I think, 5 or so.
Yeah, that's good. Very interesting.
It was an interesting job because I had freedom.
Yeah.
I had a Jeep, I had a driver.
You were going
off
to a
we
different
went. Yeah.
location every week.
Yeah.
Different area of
Yeah.
Germany to check
Yeah.
out. You got to see a lot of Germany, small town Germany that way,
I
I'm
don't
sure.
know whether it was Germany or France. It was Germany, yeah. No, I saw a lot of small towns, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the areas. So when you were discharged, did you go immediately back to Philadelphia?
Yes, to home.
Uh-huh.
My home was in Philadelphia and back to college.
Yeah. So you finished. Did you go back to LaSalle?
To LaSalle, graduated from there in 49, I think. Yeah, 49.
What degree did you get?
BS in business administration.
Did you go into business after that or work for a company?
I went into accounting and stuff like that.
That
Yeah.
sounds good. Did your Army military background help you at all
No.
in your business career?
Oh,
No.
I could shoot an M1.
You never know when you might need that, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Has your military service benefited you anytime later on that you've gotten any benefits? Do you know?
Benefits. No, it was a good experience for me.
Yeah.
For a kid, and I was an 18-year-older.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. I guess one benefit I got a couple of years ago, was it about 2 years ago, Maria, that where we were living in Arizona, there was a program to take veterans to Washington to visit the memorials. And I was allowed to go
On the
that
honor
flight.
flights.
An honor flight, yeah. That was the benefit I got.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, it was good.
That was nice. Yeah. Get to go back there and see the World
Yeah.
War II memorial and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was very good.
And it was interesting when they had it done well. When I stepped off the airplane, we were flown down, there was a mob of people clapping. We didn't know.
Yeah.
And they had been programmed, to welcome us. It was really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did that. Glad
Yeah.
you were able to go on that.
Yeah.
That's good.
First time anyone ever clapped for me.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have 2, Jim
you-
and Tim.
Did any of your children ever follow you in the military?
No, thank God.
Did you have any siblings that were in World War II as well? Any brothers or sisters?
No.
Uh-huh.
No, not old enough.
Yeah. You're the older one of the family? One of the older
yeah.
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother was in the Korean War.
Okay. A little bit later.
Yeah.
Was he also in the Army?
He was in the Army.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
One day he was wounded, laying on a stretcher. Somebody came along, looked at the dog tag and said, "Garvin, our head nurse is a Garvin." It was our first cousin.
Really?
He was put in a hospital. He said, "I got the best treatment of all." Yeah.
She must have been a nurse that they all
Small
respected.
world, though.
It is a small world sometimes. Yes. Pretty small world. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say or that you can think of about your military experience that we haven't talked about?
No, I don't. I can't think of anything. It was good. I came out alive, whole, happy, and I appreciated the state of Pennsylvania gave us a bonus. you know, at some point. I think it was like $500. It was really nice. And
And that's good, yeah. So I'm interested because I don't think I've ever seen anybody that was talked to Patton or that has ever been a part of the Graves registration group.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
yeah, that was after the war was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much.